Hey everyone, welcome back to these short, casual, unedited videos that I've been doing over the last few days. I'm going to do probably a handful of them over the next couple of weeks on the topic of anxiety. And I shared in the first video how anxiety has been something that's been a part of my life for a long time. Started early on when my mom died of breast cancer when I was 11, and probably started really actually before that in those 5 years that she was in and out of the hospital. So anxiety has been a part of my life. And as I look back at my life, anxiety has really helped me grow. It's when I faced my greatest fears, faced my anxieties, that I really grew from them. And so I've really become to see anxiety as an opportunity for us to grow in our lives. And I know it can be very unhealthy in many ways, and it can also be positive. It can be unhealthy if we bury it and pretend it doesn't exist and don't acknowledge and talk about it. That's when it becomes, I think, really unhealthy, and it can lead to a lot of other negative things. But it can be healthy if we look at it and begin to pay attention to it and to see what it's about in our life, and to allow anxiety to be, like I said, a pathway to growth. And so anxiety has been important to me. It's a topic that most people bring into my office. In the video after that, I talked about the importance of embracing your anxiety, which you guys are probably thinking, all right, man, are you kidding me, Rhett? Embracing your anxiety? What are you going to tell us next? That anxiety is the best thing to happen? And it's not. I know anxiety causes a lot of pain for a lot of people, but one of the really important things that we need to do is to embrace our anxiety. And by that I mean is to simply acknowledge it, to bring it out of the dark, bring it from out under the rug, and to acknowledge it and give it a name, give it a face, and to talk about it. And one of the ways that you can embrace your anxiety, a very simple thing, as I said in the last video, is to simply write down the things that you're anxious about, to acknowledge them to yourselves, and then to talk to someone else that you trust about them. Someone who's not going to minimize or make fun of you, or judge you or criticize you, or just say, hey, just pray this prayer or read this verse and your anxiety will disappear, right? The people who often come see me, especially in the faith community, are people who tried to talk about their anxiety maybe to their pastor or to their friend, their church, and the person said, hey, just pray this and it'll go away. And then they realized what? It didn't go away. And so they feel like they had nowhere to turn, so they come into my office to find a safe place to talk about their anxiety. So part of the movement in dealing with anxiety is to embrace it. Another movement that I think is really important, I talk about it in my book, and I'm going to read a little quote from the book, not my own words, but someone else's, is anxiety brings up a lot of uncertainty in our lives. It creates a lot of what ifs. What if I did this, or what if I do this? And so we're in a position of being uncertain. Things are unknown. And we're in new territory. We are in uncharted waters. Things are new. And I think we have to be able to live in that space for a season. And so after we embrace anxiety, part of it is allowing us to be in a season where we welcome the uncertainty of things. It's when things are uncertain that there's opportunity for new growth. And so if you find yourself in a season of anxiety and things are uncertain, I would encourage you that maybe that is right where you need to be. Maybe that season of uncertainty, that place that you're in where things are unknown, that great things are just on the other side. If you can sit tight and embrace your anxiety and see where that leads. Scott Peck, an author of a real famous book called The Road Less Traveled, has this quote, and I wrote this in my book in chapter 2 called Welcoming Uncertainty. But he says this: the truth is that our finest moments are most likely to occur when we are feeling deeply uncomfortable, unhappy, or unfulfilled. For it is only in such moments, propelled by our discomfort, that we are likely to step out of our ruts and start searching for different ways or truer answers. And I find it to be true that sometimes in seasons of life where they're the most dark or most uncomfortable, um, man, new growth, new opportunities are right around the corner. And that uncertainty, those unknowns as what ifs, and the anxiety that is produced in those moments are often what we need to get us out of our ruts and to see new ways, to see new opportunities, to see new truths in our lives. And so I come before you knowing that this is not an easy solution. Most time we just want a pill to take away our anxiety or a quick answer, and it's not. And to really to encourage you to say maybe part of you dealing with your anxiety is to sit in this season of uncertainty right now, and just to encourage you in that. And we'll talk a little more about some other practical exercises you could do, but part of it is to embrace it and to be okay in this season of unknown territory, unknown answer, unknown what ifs, and to not try to fix it right away. So we'll pick up more later. I hope you guys have a good night, and thanks for listening.